Hello and welcome back to GatorLAN stream between we have UF team and Fourskin gang. This is gonna be match number 2 with UF team taking out the win in the first one. We are Everlife Gaming and I'm Aaron Canadian Heads. Once again, joined by Richard here. How do you feel about the first game?
So glad you asked, Canadian. The first game was a little bit of a push and shove between Fourskin gang and UFT. Fourskin gang getting that early lead, but unfortunately giving it up to UFT, who had the superior map movement and superior objective game. So definitely looking out for both of these teams to see how they play out their early and mid game. Both of them being very, very substantial to both of these teams.
Yeah, I really saw the ADCs from both sides really picking up the effort that they need to get the damage that they can to help out their team. Really magnifying the power that they have, magnifying their power through their team's buffs. As I'm now seeing the pick ban phase, we are looking at a Wukong, Irelia, and Zach ban once again, seeing a very similar thing to the beginning of the first game.
Almost identical bans coming out from both of these teams, just on this time UFT is on the red side while Fourskin gang is on the blue side. So, and as we said, the Echo, I'm pretty sure that's an Echo ban coming out. So, again, identical bans from last game. Hopefully both teams do try to pretty much learn from their past champ select and hopefully build their team around this time around for mid game. Definitely a little bit more important for these two teams.
I was looking in, it looks like we're on the last ban of UF team. Kali also same ban, but looks like it's gonna be a Lucian ban from UF team. Gonna switch it up just a little bit from previous game. What was their ban last time?
If I remember, I'd tell you, Canadian, but definitely like the Lucian ban though, as I'm pretty sure that UFT South had a very amazing performance on Lucian. So instead of that getting counter sniped by the first pick of Fourskin gang, they just rather just ban it away. Smart decision. And it looks like we've come out with the first picks yet again, but it looks like Fourskin gang does pick up the Kane with their first pick. I would say a little questionable as it didn't have the best performance last game, but who knows? Maybe Salamander Man just really comfortable on the Kane pick, something he wants to bring out this tournament.
Yeah, Richard, I was wondering, because I remember last game where it was picked up early as well. I believe it was within the first 2 picks of their draft.
Yep.
I'm not really sure the use that team's jungler has on Kane if they want to take that away from it quick, but I don't know, it didn't do much last game, so I would have probably wanted to see a little bit different. But
yeah,
you can't always what you want,
Yeah, definitely. Maybe taking away the Jax from UFT, who had the FF15 machine, I'm pretty sure was on the Jax last game and had a definitely decent performance on the Jax, so maybe he could have taken that away, but the first pick Kane, it is what it is. So UFT does respond with the Jax and the Jhin. Pick up, Jhin, I'm pretty sure banned out last game, being able to pick it up now. Very strong AD carry, having a great, mid to late game once he hits those 2 to 3 item power spikes. And the Jax having an excellent clear speed, a healthy clear, and being able to get those early ganks out, trying to influence these lanes as much as possible.
And also seeing the Nami banned last game, kind of picked up now. And make sure that they get that pick in before the second round, as it was taken away from their jungler of Sweet, Lolursa. And now Vel'Koz is also going to be a new pick coming into this, so 2 new picks happening. What do you think about either one of these?
So definitely the Jax pick, not Jax, my bad, the Vel'Koz pick. As much as I love me some Vel'Koz gameplay, it's definitely going to be a pick to look out for, since we don't know. Well, it's pretty much the Galio, although was played mid lane last game. You never know, the Galio top could come out, but then again, it's most likely the mid Galio. So the Vel'Koz into the Galio, obviously range matchup a little easier on the laning phase. But for Vel'Koz, who's a very immobile champion, pretty hard to match the roam potential of the Galio. So definitely we're happy to see beyond level 6 what these two laners do. But definitely gonna have to look for the Vel'Koz earlier in the game, see if it puts enough pressure on the Galio. Hopefully, Fourskin game does answer competently with these two picks. Speaking a little bit about the Nami pick, it was banned out earlier in the last game by one of these two teams in the second part of the ban phase. So definitely love seeing the Nami come out, a very strong support, tons of utility, tons of healing, tons of a little bit of extra damage buffs. So just gotta find a really good AD carry to pair him up with. So hopefully this next pick phase coming out of Fourskin game does show off that Nami support with a strong AD carry.
I was actually looking at General Wally, and it seems, for the Vel'Koz pick, it seems like it is his most played champion, with actually 100 games played in Season 8. It's only Season 8, 100 games played, with the 66% win rates and a little 4.6 KDA. I'm surprised I didn't see it in the first game, but kind of pull it out in the Vel'Koz in the second game to try to close off this series quick and guarantee that 1000 RP for their team.
Definitely 1000 RP teams are trying to grab for it. So if you need the comfort pick of the Vel'Koz to come out, then definitely something that should come out. But speaking about comfort picks, it looks like that Heartstock Gold is going to get on that Tristana pick, a little bit of a sleeper pick right now, having a very mediocre early game, but which could be carried through by with the Nami's little utility in the early game. So definitely when Tristana gets to that late game power spike, that late game fantasy, she really does pop off with the Nami. But on the side of UFT, having that Jhin and Zyra bot lane, a little bit more of an aggressive bot lane coming out with the Zyra. So if they get this bot lane does get a little bit ahead, we're definitely going to be looking at a pretty bot lane focused game.
Once again, I mean, we have Shen and Galio. I would like to see a lot of pressure put towards the bottom lane of Fourskin with Galio's ultimate, with Shen's ultimate as well, being able to get down bottom lane so quick. I just see how UF team can actually counteract that pressure they give.
I love how you bring it up, Canadian, because that Shen and Galio having those global ultimates, being able to just give them priority when it comes to like rotating and small little skirmishes, being able to switch the tide really quickly with a quick Shen ultimate, global ultimate. Very useful on the side of Team Fourskin game. We're just going to have to see how UFT really counteracts that pressure, especially since they had such a dominating rotations in the last game. See if they can keep that up this game. With the double global ultimates from the side of Fourskin.
Yeah, we saw it, like in the last game. Like you were saying, how the rotations seem to be quite helpful on this side. So we saw Fourskin have to try to respond now, and this respond. I'm looking forward to see if it actually works out in their favor within this.
Definitely.
As we're looking into the game, what kind of runes we're using? Well, we have a Vel'Koz with the glacial augment.
Yeah, interesting. I've never seen Vel'Koz pick up a glacial augment, but again, this is General Wally's pocket comfort pick, so hopefully he has some plan and it's not just the misclick here, but glacial augment. Excited to see how he uses it.
Actually gonna look at what the other things he's using are, because that seems interesting, along what other things he's using in the tree. But also we're seeing the dark harvest coming out from Kane. Again, the game didn't seem to go long enough last game to actually take effect. But to see if they can prolong this game and allow Tristana to get those crit items, allow Kane to build up that Dark Harvest to a point where they can actually start doing huge amounts of damage with one or two autos.
both of these team comps are looking to get those, huge team fights in during the mid to late game, having the global presence of the Shen and the Galio, but at the same time having this Scion and the Jax being really beefy frontline for the the Vel'Koz and the Jhin. We can definitely look forward to see these large team fights coming out during the mid to late game. So hopefully both of these teams, play to their utmost of their strengths during the laning phase, so that don't give away any huge advantages or leads. So, but again, both of these teams doing very in standard positions, looking out for any invades. Looks like they're both going to go for a very orthodox clear.
Yeah, it looks very similar to the start we had at the beginning of last game. Not wanting to make anything too intense in the beginning of this one. Wanting to play it safe, play for the long game, as it seems like both teams are looking to do that. Yeah. I would assume.
It's definitely something to look out for in the early game. Is going to be both of these junglers, Salamander Man and the FFP Machine. They're pathing and see how which lanes they decide to influence. As giving any of these lanes an advantage would really just kind of push them up to that mid to late game power spike as a little bit quicker than the enemy team, giving them that advantage. Definitely something to look out for.
Yeah, for sure. We just had Kayn and Jax in that bottom river. Kayn starts out that Skull Crab, but Jax the one to take it in the end. Get that extra XP, and that's going to be our first pause of the game.
So just taking this time to pause, just reiterating what you said, that basically the Scuttle Crab, whoever takes the Scuttle Crab first is definitely going to have a huge advantage in that division department. So Jax being able to pick up that Scuttle Crab early on, giving the bot lane, who is Self and Grammy, a little bit of a safety net, so that when the Kayn comes in from the riverside, they will be able to see him a little bit further beyond. So hopefully the Kayn, or hopefully Salamander Man, does go answer the Skull Crab on the top side as well. So, it is still only 2 minutes and 30 seconds in the game, so it's hard to tell what's going on right now. But already we see a huge, CS lead when it comes to both of these junglers, the FF15 Machine, having 2 to 3 or 2 camps ahead of the Kayn. So hopefully Salamander Man does catch up relatively quickly and regains the priority in his jungle. And so just quick update from the production crew. It looks like at the LAN tournament, we are getting a little bit of lag issues from either sides of this team. So there's going to be quite the amount of pauses this game as well, but just hold tight, folks. We're going to get to you as quickly as possible.
Looking at it, wait, how did Jax get 12 farm? He got the
blue buff.
Blue and Scuttle, it's what I see.
Mm-hmm. So I'm pretty sure that's the Kayn, who's only gotten the red buff so far. He's down 2 camps. So honestly, if I could move my map a little bit on top of the Kayn, I wonder if he's taking the Raptors right now. But if he's not and he's straight towards his top side, he's definitely going to be a little bit behind. But hopefully he does take that Raptor camp quickly.
I definitely want to try to get that Scuttle in the top side, like you were saying beforehand. We're going to have both teams say they're ready.
What's up, guys? My name is
Galio will be ready, and looks like we're going to have the game to start off in a second. We're having Jhin just with a beauty shot onto Tristana's face as a pause.
I see both of those auto animations really surreal. They're beautiful.
Yes, aren't they? Aren't they great?
Look at those animations. Very clean, very clean.
Both autos just in the air. How do they pause? The Matrix.
It's like the Matrix. Just about to bring it up. The Matrix. Look at this caster synergy, Canadian.
Oh, there we go. Looks like our production stream just seemed to have crashed a little bit. So right now we're gonna have a little bit of fight in bottom lane, as you can't see, but looks like it's gonna be a first blood over to Tristan. Tristan is gonna jump right in front of red team's tower, but it's gonna be, to let you know, safe is gonna be the first one to die, as Heartstuck Goal is gonna get the first blood of the game.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say that how our producer just game crashed, so we're gonna load back in. They're good once again. What were you saying?
Yeah, so just unfortunately, although we couldn't really, or the stream couldn't see what's going on there, it looked like just really quickly, you have Florisa just taking out, Grammy with the amazing bubble. But going back onto my topic, just how Self was a little bit too close with those auto attacks and really just getting cut out and underestimated the early game damage coming out of Tristana with your fully stacked up E, doing tons of damage.
We saw Vel'Koz try to get to top lane for a little bit, a sneaky little play, but Kane gonna go up there and try to respond. Was gonna back off very quickly. And as we see the back starting to come out, let's see what items they choose to buy, the money they have.
So we see the Gallia who initially took the Corrupting Pot opts to go for the second Doran's Ring for a little bit more of the early game stats, getting a little bit more health and a little bit more AP so that he can survive the laning phase, while the Vel'Koz General Wally going for a little of the ambitious Dark Seal. So hopefully he does get a little bit of value in that, but time to tell.
He does have the Corrupting Potion, so I guess passively you would get that little bit of use from it for 350 gold. You always like to have more, you always like that AP.
Yeah, definitely. And the Dark Seal also having the passive of increased healing from the potions. It also has some synergy with the Corrupting Pot, so definitely a 3,000 IQ pickup if I say so myself in General Wally. But only once he starts getting those stacks we can really see what happens.
So right now not seeing much come out. Having very even lanes throughout. It's gonna be a Sunfire K. Looks like it's starting off with the Sion, but it looks like Tristana gonna jump onto the face of Zyra. Zyra gonna die instantly. Gremmy gonna fall to the ground. That's gonna be a TB coming in from Sion, as Tristana already has a double kill. And Sion gonna back out very quickly as he realizes this is not the place he wants to be.
Yeah, just the instant 3-0 coming in from the Tristana, definitely gonna be a scary carry looking on through the mid to late game, but just looks like Self and Graham just did not see the damage coming out from the Tristana, just underestimated how much burst damage and burst potential she has with the it looks like X-Kippy coming out with his life from the Vel'Koz ultimate.
Yeah, really maximizing that damage reduction that he gets with the W to try to survive that ultimate. Seeing from that double kill, that's going to transfer over to a Mountain Drake. Not exactly the Drake you want within this early of the game. Maybe some movement speed or some regeneration, really what you want, but take what you can get.
Canadian, this is kind of looking like the game from game 1, where Team Fourskin gang had a very commanding lead in the early game from their bot lane, but UFT might just pull this one around again, so I wouldn't count them out yet. So what do you think is how UFT is going to need to bring this game back?
What I think they have to do to bring it back? Well, it seemed like what we were saying before in the champ select, the pressure is being put on the bottom lane of the Fourskin gang. So I guess wanting to challenge pressure within the rest of the map other than the bottom lane. Maybe push that top lane, maybe have checks, maybe go somewhere else, as you do see that most of the pressure is going to be put onto the bottom lane. So may try to stop them from being able to help. Maybe stop Shen from being able to help the bottom lane or something like that.
Definitely. So we do see that Shen roam to the bot lane really did put a little bit of a chunk on his EXP and gold when it comes to the difference between Sion and Shen, since Shen does have a bit of a CS lead, 20 CS ahead, but just definitely not something
there, but King gonna jump onto Tristana. Tristana able to get out with a W just in case he gets caught out. That's gonna be healed back up by Nami. Team Jax and Kane holding around.
The rocket jump pretty much canceling any CC as long as it's during its cast time. So but it looks like the Kane is going in with.
Yeah, that was a Kane jumping on with the Hero's Entrance. That's gonna be an ultimate from Tristana jumping on two players, but Jin gonna miss his W. That's gonna be one more kill in favor of Tristana. 4-0.
That's a big Tristana, if I do say so myself, Canadian. Very scary looking Tristana.
The already has 900 gold in her pocket, ready to buy more items right there. I wonder what he's got. Maybe a Storm Razor, so Storm Razor can be bought very soon.
With the Storm Razor purchase, it looks like the Jin or Self is pretty behind, having almost no other other pieces of his first item. So also probably looking to buy a Storm Razor, but you know, just getting completely outclassed in terms of items when it comes to the Tristana and Jin match in the ball lane here. So definitely gonna have to watch out for another Tristana all in.
Also looking at it, seems like Jin is not even able to leave lane. Tristana, if he sticks around, that's just might be a very dead tower, or very low if the ADC leaves the lane.
And definitely to look out for Tristana's huge damage on turrets if you just leave her alone. With her E and rapid fire Q, be able to shred those turrets really quickly.
As there's a little bit of exchange in the bottom lane. Tristana was slowed down, but not destroyed. And Kane coming down to help, just in case it does get a little bit too intense. Sees Jin on the other side of the wall. Once again, they're going to slowly push. Kane going to go... Oh. Waiting impatient. Lion waiting for his prey. As it's happening, it's me and Jax in the top lane. That's going to be almost getting out, but it's going to be 3-on-1 and 3-on-2 in the bottom lane. We had Zyra use that ultimate to stop Tristana from jumping in, and that's going to Tristana down. That's going to be huge gold in favor of Jin, just to help him out just a little bit to come back into this game.
Yeah, it looks like Heartslug Gold got a little bit too zealous with his with the kill there, just not having enough HP to really just tank out the damage coming out from himself and Grammy. So a little bit too overzealous with the Kayn. So just even with the Shen ultimate, the extra power shot kind of dented the Shen ultimate as much, so it wouldn't really matter. So a little bit too cocky, too ambitious, and hopefully it doesn't really sway the game too much side of Force or for the side of UFT. So Fourskin game really does have their lead, but if just being really analogous to the first game where just one little mistake like this might really just get UFT going again and really be able to take back the tempo of the game.
Yeah, looking at the lead that Tristana did have, look at the items. It seems like it's only 500 or 600 gold in difference. It's only a dagger and gloves. That's actually the difference between these two, as both of them pick up their Storm Razor quickly around the same time.
Yeah, and we definitely have to attribute this to the shutdown goal that Self got, and the just the amazing job he is doing CSing, although being a little bit behind. He's basically on par with Tristana. So.
Right there, we do have Jax in the bottom lane again to just see able to do anything, but gonna reveal himself with that ward. And I've seen Nami with a little tidal wave in the middle lane, but Vel'Koz able to get out of that one quite easily.
And it was really quickly, Canadian. If we can just take our attention toward this mid lane, General Wally picking up the Twin Shadows.
This to the mid lane as it's a big fight happening in the river. This looks like it's gonna be dodged. Jack's trying to get out. Big Cam of Kayn gonna ult into him. FF15 machine gonna fall to Kayn. Only one kill out of that huge skirmish. There's gonna be a disengage from almost everyone else, but Kayn's still trying to get away. Vel'Koz and Jin on their way to get that kill. Not gonna be fruitful in their efforts.
Yeah, and that skirmish right there, just General Wally just almost missing out on the kill of XKP, and honestly, that might be just due to the Twin Shadows, but it looks like top lane Fat Booty getting a fat taunt on Ricer there, but it's like it didn't really matter. So just back on General Wally, having that Twin Shadows, not very known for its AP, so missing out on that, a little bit of damage on the first item might have made him miss out on the kill on XKP. A little unfortunate, but definitely interesting with the Glacial Augment proccing, being able to proc off the Twin Shadows.
We're seeing a lot of little skirmishes now happening as the power strikes are coming in from both of the ADCs. Both feel like they can do a lot of damage. In which one can actually do the most as it's close, even though it's 6. Looking at the kills and strikes and the objectives, it seems like it's a blowout right now in favor of Fourskin. Excuse me.
But if we do look at the goal difference between the two teams, you can see it's almost like just a little bit over of a 500 gold deficit. But if you just, which can be really attributed to the team UFT's amazing CS and just being ahead of almost every other member of Team Fourskin Gaming. That the CS, not only the CS but the shutdown goal from Tristana also playing a huge part in that the small gap of the gold deficit. So definitely well played by Team UFT, just keeping that gold differential really, really small.
That's especially in that mid lane. I think it's 40 CS difference, and it's equating to 900 gold. Wow, 900 gold difference with this 40 CS.
And it's honestly not such surprising since it's a ranged lane matchup against the melee Galio. Having a little bit of trouble getting that CS in, but it's very much on the top side, just Fat Booty really laying that fat damage on Rice Guy.
That's a very common difference between Sion's Q versus Shen's taunt. But Shen just has a little bit longer cooldown, so Sion seems to win those extended trades.
Yeah, definitely well played by Fat Booty, recognizing the cast time of the Sion Q and trying to taunt right in between it, so he does miss out on, so the Sion misses out on the stun, so well played by him, but he's still getting pushed in, trying to CS him a little bit as much as possible. But it looks like Team UFT or Team Fourskin Gaming.
Here's the tidal wave on to Vel'Koz. That's gonna be 4 people. It's gonna be taunted up, stunned in the air, but Sion coming in unstoppable, gonna airborne the Sion. She does not do the damage that she needs. Jin trying to auto for his life. Jack's coming on, counter striking one person, but FF15 gonna be the one to fall in the end. Sion also falling. Tristana gonna go down to Jin. McCain gonna get one for himself. Turn call gonna open up for Jin, trying to figure out what he can. Heal for Nami, and nothing gonna come from that play.
The unfortunate curtain call coming out from Jin, but yeah, that was it was very close fight, just barely coming out as a 2-for-3 on the side of Fourskin Gaming. You can attribute that to the Shen W being placed right in the middle between Jax and the rest of the Fourskin Gaming, being able to negate a lot of his damage from the auto attacks. So well played by Fat Booty there on the Shen.
Let's win again to get maybe 4 kills to 1 along with the Infernal Drake. That's I would say that's value. And though it's still very close in gold, only 1,000 difference, even though there are these huge number differences in objectives.
Looks like Team UFT did pick up the first blood turret, so equaling out the gold a little bit even more. So definitely, although it looks on paper 10-3, it looks like a blood bash for Fourskin Gaming. It's really not, if you just check the goal difference and stats. So Team UFT has been putting up a really good fight in the laning phase, picking up a huge CS advantage.
Yeah, that was just it. One was Jackson Vel'Koz catching out Kane. Shen knows that they're up here now. We'll see if Sion wants to try to dive this as Jackson coming in from behind, starting the strike. That's gonna be ultimate from Sion with an ultimate also from Vel'Koz. Shen, what can he do about this one? Is he stunned up, knocked up, and that's gonna be one more tower falling in top lane. So there's kills. There's no turrets on the side of Fourskin.
That was definitely a good try coming out from Bad Booty, but really, what can you do when it's a 3v1 under tower with the tanky Sion and just the damage coming out, the true damage coming out from General Wally on the Vel'Koz.
Like we were saying, where all the pressure is being put onto that bottom lane. If all the pressure is on the bottom lane, let's go out top lane, whether you get a current call by the Jin, trying to stop this wave from pushing in. Galio can stand right in front with the waves from Nami. Gonna be a little turret dive, and that's gonna be Tristan taking out and Zyra. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely well played by Heartspell Gold. They're just juggling the tower aggro between him and X-Kippy, making sure not to take too much damage, and using the rocket jumps pretty efficiently, not only juking out both Grammy's CC, but also putting him in the right position so that he doesn't really get in the tower aggro. But it looks like on the side of the red team, on the side of UFT, they pick up the Rift Herald. And they also picked up tier 2 in the top lane while they were going for that scrimmage bot lane. So if you really do look at just the differences between those top play and the bottom play there, I still feel like UFT did come out on top.
I'm looking at it. I'm confused as to why they did not go for that tower. I mean, they didn't know where the Vel'Koz and Jax were. So that makes sense, but I would have liked to see them at least get one objective for all the kills that they're getting in that bottom lane. For the lead that they put up for the Tristana.
This is also going to spell it's going to spell pretty big conflict when it comes for Team Fourskin Gaming, as Team UFT has really opened the map up on the top side. And in just 50 seconds, the Baron is going to be spawning, so having a huge wave pushing into that top lane is going to spell really big trouble if it comes down to a 4v5 situation between Fourskin Gaming and Team UFT for the Baron.
Here we see Vel'Koz in that top bush, and they're going to try to grab this bomb tower that's tier 1 standing for Fourskin. Yes, looks like they're on back off, seeing that there is some support. Seems like Fourskin is not done yet, as we see Tristana jump in. 1, 2, 3, 4 auto is going to fall. Be airborne. That's going to be Vel'Koz engine jumping onto Tristana, but able to jump out, jump in and jump out with the kill. I'm going to turn into a 3v2. Yeah, Hero's entrance coming in from Galio as well, but Kane in between two players. That's going to be one. Jin, the one to fall, as Shin also joins this fight onto Kane. Just not able to take out the Vel'Koz. That's going to be 4 players all around that Sion. Sion he's going to be unstoppable, but that's going to be a flash in front, and Shen blocks Sion's escape. It's going to be Rice or die, and he's going to choose die this time. Jack's the only one left to survive as Zyra back in the base.
Definitely really well called by the Team Fourskin Gaming, recognizing that Zyra was alone. And then, hey, she has no teammates to jump in on her and kill her, making a 4v5 and pretty much just being able to clean up the rest of the team fight just in pure numbers advantage. So well played by Team Fourskin Gaming, but it doesn't look like it'll be a Baron for them just yet. The death timer's not being long enough, so let's hopefully they get a couple more picks and then maybe they can transition to a Baron. Or if not, UFT gonna try to get that Baron vision, so something like that. And it looks like actually instead they're just going to be rushing straight for it.
Yeah, interesting plan for this one. Again, none of the blue players are around. There's no vision for the blue team. This is my work. It's gonna be 4 players all around. Sion coming to join. Again, Shen seeing if he wants to come look, but like
no,
a little bit too late.
An uncontested Baron straight for Team UFT. Really well played by Team UFT here, recognizing the fact that there was 2 members.
Yeah, for sure. That's gonna TP coming in as Shen wants to do something. I mean, with the tidal wave missing the Jax, that's gonna be a TP used to try to stop. That's gonna be a wasted summoner in the end.
That footwork from the FF15 machine, just juking around the Shen taunt and using that counter strike. But yeah, just great call from Team UFT, recognizing the fact there were 2 players on the side of Fourskin Gaming on the bot lane, tier 1. Instead, they opt to go for Baron, so with no vision. So great call from UFT.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. It seems again 16-5, 2 dragons, pretty even turrets. It seems like it would be in the favor of players, but it's going to be taunted by Shen. Not going to be knocked up. Going to be knocked out by Zyra. He's going to go one at a time. Rooted. The King going to jump in to see if he can do something. Vel'Koz doing huge amounts of damage at this point. That was, I don't know what to say about that. Tristana is huge, taking out the Jax, but Jin able to pick up that Kane. He knocked out, stunned, rooted onto the Galio. We have nothing happening at the end. It's gonna be a current call to finish off this fight. That's gonna be a shutdown on Nami, and she's not just able to survive. Don't you hate it when there's a big team fight and then it lags?
Yup, definitely. So it looks like I wasn't the only one who lagged through that, but
Yeah.
definitely unfortunate on the side of Fourskin Gaming Zyra, leaving out with just literally less than 20 HP, I'd like to say. So very close team fight, but I wish I could have seen it all, but the lag kind of basically cut me from seeing the rest of the team.
Kind of heard it.
But yeah, I heard it. So Team UFT playing it very well, kiting backwards into the tower. So
It seems like they were able to stop a little bit of the pressure that was being put onto them. Tower take a little bit of damage from those minions, trying to do the macro that they can. Now that they're bearing down.
And as it stands, 3 members of Team UFT still do have the Baron, so if they really wanted to, they could try to go for it. They push into one of these lanes, still try to get that Baron power play, but definitely have to be a little bit more careful, especially when in the 13-2-5 Tristana just being able to pop off.
That's insane. Wow.
Yeah, 13-2-5, 24 minutes in the game.
12,000 gold. The next closest is Jin with 9,800.
Although very despairing ADAs, it's not very far off between the two AD carries.
We're seeing Giant Jax and Zyra joining this fight as well. They have all 5 players within this mid lane. It's ready to fight if it does happen. Sion has the ultimate, Jax has the ultimate, all ultimates are up. Actually both teams, so this might be a very, very intense fight. They choose to. The Baron is still a factor for UFC to think about.
And honestly, Canadian, if I were Heartstuck Gold right now, I would be so upset if we lost the game, because being a 13-2-5 Tristana and still losing the game pretty sucks. But it looks like she jumps on Self.
We're seeing that he's upset and he's going to take out Jin because of it, not letting that reality come true. Wow.
Taking matters into his own hands. I see you, Heartstuck Gold.
Very good timing, as we're going to see Jax and Vel'Koz both back up trying to defend these towers in the mid lane. So we're going to see a normal double lane split, as we're going to see all 5 players from Fourskin to take that to tier 2 bot tower, but we're going to see all 5 players from Red try to push in, or 4 players, because Jin is down for the moment. Block off for what they can. Not wanting to give up anything, because they are on, Baron is down at this point. I'd be very ashamed if they have Baron and this is still happening to them. We want to see Tristana somehow get a few shots in these fights. I think Jin down onto Galio. Kane the one to take 1, 2, 3 shots from Current Call. That's the 4th. All 4 shots going on to Kane. He's gonna be knocked up. Shen trying to ult with the hero's entrance. So much resistance, but he's gonna fall in the end. Galio flashing in for 3 taunts. That's gonna be knocked up. Seth for the one to be knocked up, but he's gonna fall by Seth himself because of that taunt. It's gonna be 4 on 3 in the end. There's some danger coming out. That is not the fight that you want to take. And you're the one aggressing.
The Gal just not having enough armor to soak up that Jin hit. That 4th hit pretty much bringing him down to 25%. And then just Team UFT just realizing how much damage they had and how much the health bars on the side of Team Fourskin Gaming, and really just taking the advantage there, taking initiative, really going in for it.
Yeah, I'm looking at what's happening here. We still see a huge CS difference in between the mid lanes. Nothing that has been saved up. I mean, he is giving a lot of his CS over to that Tristana. She has the GA for just even more power in these team fights. As Jin still focusing on his 4th item, as it seems like Tristana is unstoppable at this point. And even though the game is so close, Tristana needs to be focused.
Yeah, and it just really looks like for both of these teams that their win conditions are pretty clear. Just for the side of Fourskin Gang, they just really need to peel for this Tristana, make sure that she's able to really go off on the backline, deal enough damage. But on the side of UFT, they just really need to stall it out, and really try to win on by with the pressure around the map they currently have, just with the open turrets that they've currently possessed, and just hopefully they get enough of that macro gameplay in order to go over the game. But before the Tristana really does 1v5 basically.
Once again, want to see if they can have that reality, or other team not wanting that reality come true for the opposing, for their opponents. A current call opened up for Jin. The tidal wave not able to hit a single person. Shen still having close to this point to get that top tower. Slowing down, sadly. I feel like it's a huge fight that I'm missing at this point. I feel like Kane solo not wanting to be in this fight at all, as it was actually a chase. I'm now seeing it all catch up with the chase on the behalf of UF team. But Shen coming down, seeing if he can cut off a few players of his own as Sion is turning around, wanting to do what he can with that ultimate. That's me, red team playing the dragon, but that's me Tristana slaying 2 champions. He's gonna double kill once again. That's me 16 and 2. He has $1,700 in his bank. Might as well almost have a full 6 item build at this point. I'm gonna start at that Baron. As FF15 machine almost gets taunted up against out of Galio's taunt very quickly. Safe and Jack's only ones around. As Sion trying to get around the corner of Baron Pit. I feel like this didn't go well. There's still a 5-on-3. Oh my, Kasef taking out Galio, Jack jumping on to the Tristana. Tristana able to get out of there 1 shot at a time. Jack's not taking Rizzo to fall. Flash forward by Seth, taking out Nami. Down to 3-on-3 now, as it started as a 5-on-3. And he talked about the power of fighting in a Baron Pit when the resistances are down. And we just saw it right there.
Yeah, it was definitely looking good for the side of Team Fourskin Gaming as they were on that Baron, but just that debuff from Baron really playing a huge role, being able to just the Team UFT being able to delete them. I mean, it was almost a one-man show for the Tristana, but she just got spooked away by the just damage in the front line of Team UFT, and they just pretty much secure Baron uncontested.
Exactly. Now we're seeing Baron once again go in the hands of UFT. Not what you want. It was a 5-on-3. You got 2 quick kills. You were able to start the Baron, but Jin, with the damage that he puts out, the Storm Razor. Well, he has a Storm Razor, Rapid Fire Cannon, and a guaranteed crit. It's huge damage, especially with that 4th shot. And we saw right there with the flash.
Like Canadian, like we bring up this point constantly, but if you just look at the numbers of the game right now, 21-13, any average league viewer would probably think that this is a mollywop for Team Fourskin Gaming. But even while looking at the UFT being down 2 dragons, being basically even in turrets, but still just surprisingly being ahead in like just by a small margin of 1,000 gold, but still being ahead of Team Fourskin Gaming here, just really just surprising. It's pretty much. So definitely gonna have to look at this again after the game and the post-game stats, see really what it comes down to. But honestly, just a really surprising game overall.
Again, with what seems like a huge gold lead, UFT able to be the one to grab both Barons in this game, but just not able to grab the Lord Dominic's to finally get rid of those last armor. But Jin getting popped up, going golden. See if he's able to get out of this one as the bubble just misses him. But he's not going to make it out anytime soon. That's going to be shut down by Kane, as the chase is on, channeling from Sion, trying to knock a few people up if he can to slow down that push. We have 5-on-4. Jin, the damage dealer is down right now. We'll see if Forearm is able to do anything with Fourskin, able to do anything with it. For the forearms.
Definitely a little bit of a slip up. It's fine. Canadian happens to the best of us. But yeah, itself being caught in a sticky situation and just having to give up his life for it. But definitely not too much of a problem for Team UFT. Still slowing down, slowing down the game, trying to get to their advantage, to get to their tempo. But really starting to slowly become stagnant with both of these objectives, both Dragon and Baron being down. So definitely it's going to come down to these late game team fights to really see who gets the tempo of the team. And as we see here in the river, just Jags getting blown up by the Tristana.
Yeah, I'm gonna just say about that one either, where FF15 trying to walk around, trying to get a little bit of vision in the jungle, but dives for it. Because there's looks like a little fight ensued afterwards as Shen being hit one after the other. But Nami heals, proving to work well in this one. It's still a very close game. Again, if this is what UFT is like on Baron and it's a close game, oh no, Shen. Why is he still? Oh no. Just like what happened to Jax happens to Shen back to him.
It's a back and forth game in general.
Like I was saying, if this is what UFT is like on Baron and it's this close to the game, I don't want to imagine what it would be like if Fourskin was able to get it.
Yeah, definitely. Fourskin Gang was able to just secure that Baron. This could have been an entirely different game, but UFT with the really nice calls and the really just recognizing their power, the Baron debuff. Which looks like, you know, Team UFT with the siege down mid lane, doing that turret.
At least they got a little something with the Baron this time, as they didn't really achieve much from the last time they had it. Seeing it slowly might seem to go in favor of UFT. We're seeing the dragon spawn up. That is going to be another air drake to wind that movement speed for either team.
Oh, wait, air? Oh, interesting.
Cloud drake, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say it might be a little bit of fight from Jax, just surviving with just a little over 100 health. They're going to get that quickly without any contested. They're going to have that huge movement speed buff throughout the rest of this game. I believe that is going to be an Elder Drake as well. Elder Drake is going to be the one spawning back afterwards.
So definitely Elder Drake is something the Team Fourskin gang is going to need to look for, as they already have 4 dragons down on their belt, so having that Elder buff really going to be detrimental for them. Really good way to close out the game, to be honest. So definitely something to look out for in the upcoming future.
Yeah, they get the dragon, but they're a little bit scattered around the map, as it's going to be a 5-man push down to this inhib turret. Fight as Jin goes underneath the tower, trying to get the one auto on. Not in range, so he's going to be out. That's going to be a huge hero's entrance coming in from Galio. Galio's flashing in with the 3-man taunt. Jin in the backline trying to do what he can, but Tristana going to respond with the damage of her own. I mean, Galio falling. That's going to be a Shen falling by a Scion charge. Resurrection from Tristana, and that seems like she's going to fall as well. That's going to be the damage dealer down. A current call in favor of Jin. Kane gets Jax, but not much more you can do in a fight when the current call is up. That's going to be Scion shutting down the Kane. As we're now in a 3v1 with Nami the support, the only one to save the day, with a 20-second countdown on Galio.
Yeah, Canadian, with these long dead timers, this might just be game if Lursa is not able to block off the incoming wave from Team UFT. Might just be game. And just the end of the series.
Again, not seeing much happen as Galio still not up yet. Nami, the only one that was able to survive and help her team here. Looks like she's gonna, both turrets are gonna fall. Galio's gonna be backed up, but Rise or Die gonna be the one taunted up at the Nexus. Great general wall, the only one left alive, but the zombie of Scion also not able to save it. Shut down from Galio, and the game is gonna be still left to be played. Gonna save the game, save themselves in this tournament. But they're gonna lose turrets for. They have no Nexus turrets left, and that's gonna be 2 inhibs turrets down as well.
Very close call from the side of Team UFC, but this might have just been the throw, because it opens up Team Fourskin gang to really secure this Baron almost uncontested, having only their support of Grammy to be on this Baron right now, having the Jax looking for maybe a back door.
Yeah, they better look for it quick. It seems like Jax is on his way to get that Nexus down. I think just gonna with the huge damage that she can do. It's gonna be Silent Burst. It's gonna be Jax in the base, but it's gonna be 3 people just able to get back in time with the respawns. And they're gonna stay alive once again. The Nexus turret down to only 200 damage. That was like 1 or 2 autos left, and I've been a dead Nexus, and the game will be over.
Very close call by the FF15 machine, but you know, just barely Fourskin Gaming being able to come back from the Baron kill. So very lucky on their part, but definitely have to look out for any other future backdoors, especially with the Scion TP and the Zombie Scion being able to just smack on that Nexus even after death. So definitely a little bit scary for Fourskin Gang. Definitely have to put up a crap ton of vision with a lot of pink words, but we'll see how this game really plays out, because now it's that final stretch where just a little bit, just even one skirmish could really cause someone to win or lose here.
Again, they're just picking up the objectives that they can. Only 2 minutes left until that Elder Drake spawns, but I feel like this game might be over before then. Whether it's a fight to try to do damage to the blue Nexus, or the red team dies in the effort to destroy the blue Nexus. This might be it, as we do see the pings coming out from Fourskin to get that mid tier 2. And this might be the final fight. Actually, if it's a full team fight, this will be the final fight no matter which way it goes. And I hope my computer is not lag as the fight starts. Jin doing what he can to stack up to that 4 shot. It's a GA as well, built for himself. I'm lagging around, but we're going to see a little bit of a spark coming out from Vel'Koz. Again, seeing pings all around Shen, around the right side, trying to go in for a taunt. Misses the taunt as it goes golden from Jin. Hero's entrance, gonna take down Zyra. Rise or die, falling once and for all. It looks like it's gonna be an ult coming in from General Wally, able to take on Nami. Supports down for both teams at this point. It's gonna be a little bit of retreat coming in from Fourskin, as Kane and Shen are not around. But they don't even, but we're seeing UFT not even care. Skippy, the one to fall, but looks like it's gonna be a Shen jumping in from an ultimate. Tristana is down, no damage really left. But Shen there to do what he can. Resurrection coming in onto Jin. Resurrection, both players. Jin trying to get away. He's able to taunt it up by Shen once again. Shen not able to do any damage. Kane there to take out Jax if possible. Shen and Jax, the top laner and the jungler, left alive for both teams. Rise or die, trying to get away. But Kane using that movement speed to get in to that wall. One more slice. Rise or die gonna be diced and riced. I don't know what I just said, but it looks like we're seeing an Elder Dragon spawn up. Oh my goodness, that was insane.
Insane team fight indeed, Canadian. But in the midst of that team fight, you Fat Booty going with the TP back to the base. A little bit confusing. Maybe he was expecting Jax to show up there. It almost threw the team fight, but luckily the Kane and the Shen being able to just take out the Jax and Scion. So definitely to save the game right there. But definitely this Elder Dragon going to be the next contention for both of these teams. So definitely whoever picks up the Elder Dragon is going to be that much closer to victory.
Yeah, we're having the support and jungler hanging out in that Dragon River once again. Gonna go around the next objective, which is that Dragon. The Scuttle Crab grabbed by UFT, so they always have that vision of the Dragon. I just come in handy a lot towards the later points of this Dragon being alive. We do have all four players from UFT around that Dragon already. Seem like they're ready to fight.
It looks like they're just really making sure to be careful not to get caught out, because would be definitely the last team fight if something were to go wrong here.
Yeah, they have vision of where they are. Just are missing the roots. So Shen walking in and walking out, very nice. They might go back in. We do have the GA not on the Jin, not on the Jax. Tristana sold that GA for the Blazer Rune King because it was on cooldown. Liking up, so I hope the fight is not happening right now.
Yeah, well, it's going down right now. Canadian.
Oh, nice. All right, so we have so much shouting, but it looks like we're going to have Ricer die popping that Guardian Stone Blade, but he's going to not have it for long enough. Jin able to take out Galio, going to respond with Ricer die. We'll see if he's able to get any autos onto that Tristana. Tristana has a lifesteal, but not enough and able to survive just a little bit. The curtain call going to be opened up. Nartex exits one of the stages if he wants to stay alive, but Tristana, the one to fall, 1-on-4 right now, and that's going to be Jin taking out Shen, and that just might be it for the life of Fourskin within this tournament.
Mm-hmm. Since if UFT does close out this game, it's going to be a clean 2-0 from UFT, and it just might look like the death timers is just too long, and during that team fight, you know, it looked pretty grim for UFT having that Scion ultimately run into the 4 members of Team Fourskin gang. But it looks like they were really able to just kite backwards to Jin, showing a really great performance there at the end of the team fight, just juking out the Tristana, taking her out with a curtain call, and really closing out this game.
Wow.
GG's all around.
That was too intense. Wow. So we have the Nexus being open, and then Nami was the only one left. Galio spawns up, taunts 2 players to stop the Nexus from falling. And then we have like another 5 minutes until the Elder Drake comes up. And we have a huge Elder Drake fight. No, not even Elder Drake fight first. Like a mid lane fight where everyone just seemed to fall. And it was like the jungler and the who was it? The support on each team, jungler and top laners from each teams that were still alive.
Yeah.
But man,
very intense last 10 minutes of the game there for both UFT and Fourskin gang. I mean, it was a pretty back and forth game, having getting that again early lead for Fourskin gang, but just not enough. This if we get once we move to the post game stats, just that KD on the Tristana, really just a nice KD, but you just hate to see a really fed 80 carry just not be able to win the game for the team. But you know, I just hate to see it.
Wow, what a way to go. So we just had a UFT confirm the 1000 RP that they get, and then we're gonna have, I believe, what's the next? We have yeah, it was absolutely insane. That was a good game from both teams, where we had UF team versus Fourskin. Both teams did amazingly well, especially in the end of that game where you were saying.
And it looks like we had post-game stats up. So we do look at these stats. The KDA for both of these teams, it does really look in favor for Team Fourskin gang, but just on that 25 and 11 Tristana, just an insane KDA, but just wasn't enough to really pull out through that game. Unfortunate for Heartstuck Gold.
That's 61,000 damage to champion.
Insane amount of damage.
That's not right. Don't do them like that, man. Come on, Trist. I mean, Jin did like 50,000, which is usually good, but not when you're shadowed by a 61,000 Tristana.
Yeah, it was definitely, the numbers certainly don't add up, especially when you see the difference KDA. But you know, Team UFT really did play the map to the full of their extent, opening up the top side first to gain the Baron, and you know, just opening up that bot side later in the game so they can really just bait out a fight in the Elder Drake. So definitely well played by UFT. All well played by Fourskin gang too. Just really unfortunate how that really turned out, but you know, very exciting and intense action-packed game. Canadian. Just I had tons of fun shouting. Did a shoutcast on that with you, and you know, really looking forward to future performance by UFT.
And I believe next we're gonna have, I believe it's the finals between UF team and whoever won the game between the other two semifinalists. But Easy Clap is going to be the people who they play against. We saw them in the quarterfinals where they did very well, and now we're just gonna see both teams match up in the finals for the final prize.
Mhm.
All right, so we'll be back in a bit, and I'm heading out. Goodbye. Sign off. This is my sign off.
Yep, same to me. So hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely looking forward to this next final game, and it looks like both Canadian and I will be signing off. So just see you guys later, I guess.